Almost all education and certificate programs have lessons about Bloom's taxonomy. It's a simple yet immensely useful framework. You may be surprised to find out that it's usually taught incorrectly. For example, I was taught that memorizing vocabulary was considered lower order and therefore inferior, while categorizing that vocabulary was higher order and therefore superior. Teachers are encouraged to have students engage in the higher order objectives. However, after reading the original work, we discovered that Bloom did not use that terminology at all. His work outlines a progression of thought with recall being foundational. The learning activities move through understanding and application, up through synthesis, which are subsequently more and more complex. We therefore have changed our language to foundational and complex or sophisticated when referring to levels of expertise. Students must know the content before they can do anything with it. There's a logical sequence to learning, which Bloom's taxonomy lays out. You may want to refer back to this when you start to design your learning progressions. Cognitive load is related to the amount of total working memory that your brain can engage at any one time. There are 3 types of cognitive load. First, intrinsic load, which is the inherent difficulty of the task for the person and their level of expertise. Second, extraneous load refers to the manner in which the information is presented. As teachers, our goal should be to reduce unproductive load through straightforward instructions, repetition in our structures, limiting split attention, and eliminating as many redundancies as possible. Then there is germane load, which is the information that you want the brain to put in long-term memory. You need to design work to help students learn how to do this. Students really don't know how to learn because typically it's not explicitly taught. They may need activities that help them digest and store information. The published research focuses on presentation, but we extend the conclusions to address assessment. The learning progression model uses the idea that the brain has a limited amount of working memory. Therefore, the design and presentation of course materials can have big influence on cognitive load. We use target levels to reduce the germane load at any given point in time. A target level is the benchmark that students are expected to reach by the end of a unit, usually identified as a specific step on the rubric. The teacher bases the target upon current student achievement. As students achieve that benchmark, the teacher opens up the next level. For example, see the learning progression for product design shown here. Let's say we're in Unit 2, and the target is developing. So students can only see the learning progression up to developing. The teacher only discusses the requirements described in the beginning and developing levels, meeting the basic criteria as outlined by the rules and requirements of the assignment. If a majority of the class earns developing by the end of the unit, then in the next unit, the teacher opens up proficient level when students already have a foundation in the developing level. This limits the amount of new things kids have to deal with at any one time. This concludes the new information in this module. Before beginning Module 3, please complete the remaining tasks listed in this module, which includes reading from the Going Gradeless book and collecting the artifacts listed here. In Module 3, you will be identifying the details of what is valued and important in your class.